South Sudan suspended First Vice President Dr. Riek Machar. October 22, 2025 Juba. Defense lawyers for South Sudan's suspended First Vice President Riek Machar and 7 co-accused on Wednesday requested a delay in their high-profile treason trial, saying they needed more time to review prosecution evidence before cross-examining witnesses and the lead investigator. The defense asked the special court sitting at Juba's Freedom Hall to grant access to case files and copies of documents submitted by the prosecution. The defense team, led by former Court of Appeal judge and University of Juba law professor Gerre, told the panel it required adequate time to prepare for cross-examination. We request that the court allow us sufficient time to examine the case files one by one so that we can prepare our questions properly, one of the defense lawyers said. Presiding Judge James Alala-Deng granted the request and adjourned the case until Friday, October 24th, when cross-examinations are expected to begin. The prosecution said it was ready to proceed but did not object to the adjournment. During Wednesday's 13th session, prosecutors presented additional evidence on the death of Major General David Major Dak, a commander in the South Sudan People's Defense Forces, SSPDF, who was killed during a March 2025 attack in Nasir County, Upper Nile State. An investigator testified that after government forces lost control of the Nasir garrison, Major and his troops were surrounded and trapped inside an armored personnel carrier for 3 days. The investigator alleged that Machar phoned Major during that period, urging him to surrender, but Major refused. On March 7, 2025, Major and his soldiers attempted to reach a UN helicopter for evacuation after being promised safe passage by opposition SPLM forces. They were ambushed and shot dead before reaching the aircraft, the court heard. The investigator said a UN staff member was also killed and 2 crew members injured. 2 helicopters sustained damage but returned to Malakal. The court was told that photographs of Major's body later circulated on social media and that more than 250 SSPDF soldiers killed in the attack were left unburied until government troops recaptured the garrison in late April. Prosecutors also outlined the alleged roles of 3 co-defendants: Camilo Gatmichael, 47, Mating Yak Riek, 45, and Dominic Gatgok Riek, 27, accusing them of sharing classified military documents and communications, including lists of SPLM officers promoted after the Nasir attack. The defense reiterated that a fair trial required access to the full case files before questioning witnesses. Judge Alala noted that one of the accused, Brig Camilo Gatmichael, was absent due to illness. The charges stem from a March 2025 assault on an army base in Nasir that killed Major and dozens of soldiers. The government alleges the attack was carried out by forces loyal to Machar's SPLM and a local militia known as the White Army. Machar, 73, and his co-accused face charges including treason, crimes against humanity, mass murder, terrorism, and destruction of property. The other defendants are Pute Kong Chul, 40, Mampal Duer, 37, Gatwech Lam Puch, 66, Lieutenant General Gabriel Dup Lam, 53, Camilo Gatmichael, 47, Mating Yak Riek, 45, and Dominic Gatgok Riek, 27. The trial opened on September 22. Raila Odinga and Dr. Riek Machar, a comparison that doesn't hold. In recent debates, some have drawn parallels between Kenya's veteran statesman Raila Odinga and South Sudan's Dr. Riek Machar. Yet such comparisons are misplaced and overlook the profound differences in their political philosophies, leadership styles, and national impact. Putting the nation before self. Raila Odinga has consistently demonstrated a commitment to Kenya's national interest above personal ambition. Throughout his political career, he has made difficult choices that prioritize the country's stability, unity, and democratic progress. During moments of political tension, Raila has repeatedly turned to dialogue, reconciliation, and institutional solutions, hallmarks of a leader who values the greater good. A leader, not a warlord. By contrast, Dr. Riek Machar's political trajectory has been defined by repeated recourse to armed struggle and internal division. While undeniably a central figure in South Sudan's history, his legacy remains deeply entangled with cycles of conflict and instability. Unlike Raila, whose politics are anchored in civic engagement and compromise, Machar's strategies have too often been perceived as driven by power struggles rather than a unifying national vision. Legacy of stability versus conflict. Raila Odinga's influence has been pivotal in promoting stability and democratic dialogue in Kenya. He has stood at the center of efforts to mediate disputes, foster inclusion, and preserve peace. Machar's legacy, on the other hand, is closely tied to civil unrest and political fragmentation, underscoring the contrast between leadership rooted in dialogue and that defined by discord. Conclusion. Equating Raila Odinga with Dr. Riek Machar is not merely inaccurate. It diminishes the essence of true statesmanship. Raila represents a model of leadership that puts country before self, peace before power, and institutions before individuals. Machar, though politically consequential, embodies a different narrative, one where personal ambition and military confrontation have too often overshadowed the pursuit of national unity. Raila Odinga's enduring commitment to Kenya's future places him among the continent's few leaders whose vision consistently transcends self-interest, a distinction that sets him apart in African politics. Breaking news. SPLM VIP protection forces arrive safely in Kaljak despite SSBDF ambushes. Kaljak, Rubkona County, October 22, 2025. SPLM VIP protection forces have successfully arrived in Kaljak, Rubkona County, after reportedly facing multiple ambushes by the South Sudan People's Defense Forces, SSBDF, along their route. According to field sources, the convoy encountered several hostile engagements but managed to advance safely, crediting their survival and smooth passage to the Ngok Dinka and Bulnuer communities for their cooperation and support. Upon arrival, the unit was received by Division 4 Commander, General Turek Kaur, who commended the forces for their discipline and resilience amid the tense security situation in Unity State. The movement of the SPLM VIP protection forces is seen as a significant development amid heightened tensions and ongoing political uncertainty surrounding the Machar IG dispute and the broader peace process in South Sudan. Hashtag Machar trial adjourned. Defense to review case files. The politically charged treason trial of South Sudan's first vice president, Dr. Riek Machar Teni, and 7 other senior SPLM/AO officials was adjourned on Wednesday to allow the defense team more time to review key case files and evidence presented by prosecutors. The adjournment came after the 12th session of the special court at Freedom Hall, where defense lawyers argued that the prosecution had withheld crucial documents and witness statements that are essential for a fair defense. Lead Defense Counsel ADV John Ladu told the court that the defense cannot proceed without full access to all exhibits and materials relied upon by the prosecution, accusing the state of deliberate obstruction. Presiding Judge James Bull Menial granted the adjournment, ordering that all relevant files be availed to the defense before the next sitting, scheduled for October 25, 2025. Meanwhile, heavy security continued to surround the court premises, with roads around Freedom Hall cordoned off by SSBDF and National Security Service (NSS) personnel. Observers, including diplomats and human rights monitors, have described the proceedings as politically motivated and lacking transparency. The trial centers on the Nasir incident, a July 2024 clash in Upper Nile State in which dozens of SSBDF soldiers were reportedly killed. The government accuses Dr. Machar and his allies of orchestrating the attack, allegations the SPLM/AO leadership strongly denies, calling them a witch hunt aimed at silencing political dissent. Human rights groups and regional mediators have urged Juba to ensure due process and uphold the 2018 revitalized peace agreement, warning that the trial risks derailing fragile peace efforts. Defense lawyers representing South Sudan's first vice president, Dr. Riek Machar Teni, have requested that the court compel prosecutors to provide them with the most recent case files and evidence submitted by the accusers for review before the next hearing. During Wednesday's session at Freedom Hall, lead defense lawyer Dr. Gerre urged the panel of judges to ensure full transparency, arguing that the defense team had not received the latest documents filed by the prosecution. We respectfully ask the Honorable Court to direct the prosecution to hand over the updated files of the accused persons so that we can thoroughly review them, Dr. Legus said. Without access to these materials, it would be impossible for us to prepare an effective defense for our clients. The judges acknowledged the request and agreed to adjourn the proceedings to allow time for the defense to obtain and examine the case files. The next hearing has been set for October 25, 2025. The session, part of the ongoing special court trial over the Nasir incident, continues to draw both domestic and international scrutiny. Many observers, including diplomats and civil society groups, have criticized the proceedings as politically motivated and inconsistent with the principles of the 2018 revitalized peace agreement. Outside the court, security remained tight, with SSBDF and INSS personnel blocking nearby roads and restricting public access. The defense insists that Dr. Machar and his co-accused are innocent, describing the charges as part of a political witch hunt intended to undermine the peace process and silence opposition voices. South Sudan's ruling party, the Sudan People's Liberation Movement, SPLM, has accused veteran politician Nile Deng Nile of betrayal and political opportunism following his resignation and the launch of a new opposition movement, the South Sudan Salvation Movement, SSM. The SPLM's sharp response came days after Nile, a founding member of the party and former Minister of Defense, Foreign Affairs, and Presidential Affairs, announced his departure from the SPLM, citing corruption, insecurity, and failure to deliver elections as reasons for breaking away. In an 18-page declaration, Nile accused President Salva Kiir's administration of abandoning the founding ideals of the liberation movement, pledging that his new political outfit would restore integrity and accountability to national leadership. Speaking at a press conference in Juba on Wednesday, SPLM Secretary for Political Affairs, Mobilization and Organization Bol Makuing said the party was shocked by Nile's defection, describing it as both deeply disappointing and politically motivated. It is deeply disappointing that Honorable Nile, a founding and senior member of the SPLM, has chosen to turn his back on the movement that shaped his political career, Makuing told reporters. His allegations of government failure, corruption, and lack of disarmament are unfounded and politically motivated. The SPLM official reminded the public of Nile's long service within the party, including his role in negotiating the 2005 Comprehensive Peace Agreement, CPA, that led to South Sudan's independence. However, Makuing questioned Nile's own record in office, particularly during his tenure as Defense Minister, 2008 to 2011. When he was Minister of Defense, the country experienced several violent conflicts in Jonglei, Warrap, and Lake states. What comprehensive security plan did he implement then? Makuing asked. He was often away attending Arsenal football matches while the president managed local crises. Makuing dismissed Nile's accusation that the SPLM was deliberately delaying national elections, emphasizing that the extension of the polls to December 2026 was a collective decision made under the revitalized peace agreement, RERC says. The SPLM leadership does not fear elections. We are prepared for the 2026 polls, he said. The extension was agreed upon by all peace partners. The SPLM further declared that Nile automatically lost his party membership and parliamentary seat after forming the SSSM, in accordance with the party's constitution. Responding to reports of arrests of Nile's supporters, Makuing denied any SPLM involvement, stating, SPLM does not arrest people. If anyone is detained, that is the responsibility of government security organs, not the party. He also alleged that Nile's new group had links with the United People's Alliance, UPA, a coalition of opposition figures accused by the SPLM of backing armed groups. By aligning with such groups, Nile is associating himself with those who want to gain power through violence rather than democracy, Makuing warned. Defending the party's legacy, Makuing praised President Kiir for steering South Sudan to independence and maintaining the vision of the SPLM founder, Dr. John Garang de Mabior, amid immense challenges. Comrade Salva Kiir carried forward Dr. Garang's vision under extreme provocation, Makuing said. Those claiming the SPLM abandoned its mission are ignoring history. He concluded by urging citizens and party members to reject division and remain united. We advise Honorable Nile to organize his new party along democratic lines and avoid inciting violence among South Sudanese, Makuing said. We don't want South Sudanese to die again. Machar trial adjourned as court awaits ruling on key submissions. The special court trying first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and 7 senior members of the SPLM/ADO has adjourned proceedings to Friday, October 24th, when judges are expected to deliver a ruling on key submissions made by both the prosecution and defense teams. During Wednesday's session, the prosecution petitioned the court to proceed with the trial of 13 additional SPLM/AO members alleged to have participated in the March 2025 Nasir incident in absentia. The defense, on its part, requested access to full case files and copies of evidentiary documents already submitted by the prosecution, saying these materials are essential for the upcoming cross-examination of the lead investigator. The high-profile case has drawn national and international attention, with SPLM/AO officials and rights groups decrying what they describe as a politically motivated witch hunt aimed at undermining the peace agreement and weakening the opposition's leadership. A senior SPLM/AO representative in Juba, speaking on condition of anonymity, accused the ruling SPLM-IG of turning the judiciary into a political weapon, while government officials maintain that the proceedings are in line with due process and accountability for crimes committed during the Nasir attack. Civil society actors have urged restraint and called on both sides to respect judicial independence, warning that the outcome of the trial could have far-reaching implications for South Sudan's fragile peace process. Proceedings of the 13th session of the sham trial of Dr. Riek Machar and 7 other SPLM/AO detainees Freedom Hall, the so-called special court on the Nasir incident, convened its 13th session today at Freedom Hall in Juba, continuing what has been widely criticized as a politically motivated trial orchestrated by the SPLM-IG against First Vice President Dr. Riek Machar, Tenny Durgan, and 7 senior officials of the SPLM/AO. During the session, the lead investigator, Major General Basilio Thomas Wani, Police Commissioner of Northern Bahr El Ghazal State, appeared before the court as the prosecution conducted its final examination. General Wani alleged under oath that Dr. Machar had called Major General David Major Dak, a South Sudan People's Defense Forces (SSPDF) commander, while General Dak and his bodyguards were trapped for 3 days inside armored personnel carriers (APCs) after armed youth overran the Wekuridu garrison in Nasir County. According to General Wani's testimony, Dr. Machar purportedly urged the late General Dak to surrender to SPLA-IO forces, an accusation the defense team described as a complete fabrication, lacking any factual or evidentiary basis. In reality, sources close to the defense clarified that Dr. Machar's communication with General Dak was a humanitarian gesture aimed at ensuring the safety of all individuals caught in the standoff, including SSPDF personnel. The call, they stressed, formed part of broader efforts by Dr. Machar to, during the Nasir incident, de-escalate tensions and prevent further bloodshed. The court is expected to reconvene on Friday, October 24th, 2025, when judges are anticipated to rule on pending submissions from both the prosecution and defense regarding the admissibility of certain testimonies and evidence. In reality, however, Dr. Machar's communication with the late General Dak was intended to ensure the safety of both himself and the stranded SSPDF soldiers and all personnel involved in the incident. He never made the request alleged by the lead investigator. This communication was part of a broader effort to de-escalate the situation and facilitate a peaceful resolution to the Nasir crisis. Meanwhile, the defense team requested that the so-called special court grant full access to all case files, including copies of documents and physical exhibits submitted by the prosecution. The lead defense lawyer, Dr. Gerre Raimondo Leg, also solicited that the team required adequate time to prepare for the cross-examination of witnesses and the lead investigator following the conclusion of the prosecution's examination phase. The court did not issue a ruling on this request. However, the presiding judge, Dr. James Alala Deng, adjourned the sham trial until Friday, October 24th, when cross-examinations are expected to begin. Despite expressing readiness to proceed, the prosecution did not object to the adjournment. All SPLM/AO members unlawfully detained by the SPLM-IG security apparatus since March and currently undergoing this flagrant trial appeared in court during today's session except Brig General Camilo Gatmichael, who was absent due to illness. The SPLM/AIO reiterates its rejection of the so-called special court, which it views as a mechanism created to abrogate the revitalized agreement and to conduct a political witch hunt against Dr. Riek Machar Tenny-Durgan and the SPLM/AIO. Consequently, calls for the immediate and unconditional release of Dr. Riek Machar Tenny-Durgan and all SPLM/AIO detainees.